So before we totally finish this, I wanted to tell you a few things about watercolor. These are watercolors. Now, just like the name sounds, they don't work unless you use water. You need to use a lot of water. You'll notice there's no black or brown. I took them out because usually if I leave them in, they end up kind of wrecking people's art, because some of that black or brown will get into the lighter, brighter colors, and it just looks bad that way. So when you use it, always get your brush nice and clean and get some of the color that you need. You can paint with it. And if you notice that the color is sticky, that definitely means you're not using enough water. So always use enough water that the colors are not sticky, and please don't dig into them. As long as you still see color in there, there is still paint. Sometimes people get to the bottom and they say, oh, I'm out of paint. If you see the bottom but there's still color around it, that is still paint. You should still use it. So I'll finish up here with the eyes. And as you can see on this, anywhere that I used that white crayon, the color, the paint cannot stick. That's what we call a wax resist. But the trick to it is, if you keep trying to paint over it, it will finally end up sticking and you'll kind of ruin the effect. So paint it once and then leave it alone to dry. So since I took out the black and the brown, you can grab the tempera cake that's for skin colors, the skin tones over here, and you can use that to do the skin tones. So I'll go ahead and get this guy finished up. If you want the color lighter, use more water. If you want it darker, use less water. I just realized that I forgot the eyebrows, but that's okay because I think I'm going to use some pencils on this later too, because it's just a nice way to finish it up. I think I'll go back and use pencils to darken up the some of the designs in there. That'll be kind of nice. And anytime you have areas that are still wet while you're painting, you need to be really careful not to touch them with the brush, because that color will just come rushing in to the area that you are painting. So like you notice I was really careful painting around the mouth, because the mouth is still wet paint, and if I touch it even just a little bit, it will zoom right on into the area that I'm working on. So I want to avoid doing that. And that's what happened down here at the bottom. This part right here, I was painting with blue and I touched just a little bit of the orange and the orange ran down into the blue area. If that happens, it's best to just kind of leave it alone, maybe stop working in that area, and you can kind of fix it up later when it's all dry maybe. So there. Finished up, and maybe I'll do a little time lapse with the colored pencils later.